The Hindu Editorial Analysis for Proficiency in English. As usual, let us start with the snippets. What is the first one over here? It is no invite from India. Nepal PM Oli set to travel to China. Set to travel, something is set to happen, means ready to happen. In this context, ready to travel. Simple, easy to comprehend. We have a particular image over here. Excuse me. PDF పెట్టావా పేపర్ పెట్టావమ్మా PDF పెట్టినట్టు పేపర్ Have a look at this pic. Global carbon market gets green signal. An important one, but you have to read the article. Anything related to environment. Good morning to all of you. Am I audible? Okay, fine. That is my mother tongue. Here, green signal. What is the meaning to get a green signal, to get the approval? I am sure you all know that. The next snippet, Trump's new appointments. What do you see here? Trump's new appointments. Senator Rubio tipped for. There's one important expression. What is it? Tipped for. In this context, it means, tipped for means he is going to be Secretary of State, likely to be the Secretary of State. That's what it means. Let us have a look at the next one. What is the next one here? World Bank initiative debating the healthy longevity. You should know how to pronounce this. How do we pronounce this? Longevity. Better color. How do you pronounce that? Longevity. Long life, longevity. The World Bank initiative debating the healthy longevity plan, divide between reality, strategy is too wide. Reality is something, strategy is another thing. The gap is too wide. The snippet talks about that. An initiative, but it is not that practical. That's what you have to understand. Let us have a look at the next snippet related to sports. Deepika strikes twice as India beats Korea. Simple words. Progress made in India-Russia trade, Jai Shankar. You have to understand progress has been made. Exactly, that's right. You should remember headlines, they don't write the complete sentence. Here you have to understand progress has been made. Progress has been made, which tense is that? Present perfect, passive voice. We have made progress, active voice, present perfect. Progress has been made, passive voice, present perfect. But headline, you don't see the actual sentence. What is the next one here? Supreme Court to give verdict today on illegal demolitions. Demolition, it goes with buildings. You all know that. And legal, illegal. In this context, it is going to give the verdict or the judgment regarding illegal demolitions. Pull down also you have to recollect the phrasal verb. What is the main headline? Food prices per retail inflation to 6.2% in October. Spur, we have got many a time. Raise you have to recollect. Very good. Roja Rani. Looks like a new student. Very good. I appreciate that. Spur means what? Act as a stimulus. Stimulus, catalyze, make something respond. We use the word stimulus. Spur retail inflation to 6.2%. But we have a pic over here. Let us see what it is about. First, flakes. You all know the combination cornflakes. What is a flake? A flake is a small part of something. Imagine a person, a sculptor, takes a stone and starts chiseling. Small pieces come off. They are known as flakes. Cornflakes, a popular combination, everyone knows. But in this context, what? Snowflakes, first flakes, the context talks about snow, snowflakes. But what is the heading over here, or the news? What is the news? A view of the snow-covered areas near Sonamarg in Jammu and Kashmir on Tuesday, as the town receives a fresh snowfall. The town has received fresh snowfall. Based on that snowflakes, they have written first flakes. And you can see the beautiful pic, Jammu and Kashmir. Let us go to the next one. Usually I tell students, when you see the headline, when you see a snippet, when you see a particular news item, don't read casually. Try to be a smart learner. Here the context talks about snow. Then you have to think of all the related words. Tell me what is the word for snowstorm? Usually from the ocean, a storm, we use the term cyclone in this part of the world. Western world, especially the US, they use the word hurricane. But imagine there is a snowstorm. What is the word? We use the word blizzard. Have you heard of this any time? BLIZZARD. Have you heard of the word blizzard? Blizzard means a snowstorm. Exactly. And you should also think of words like, when you're exposed to snow a lot, you feel the numbness in your fingers or toes. What is the word I've just used? Numb. Here you have to remember the letter B is silent. My toes have become numb, my fingers have become numb, means no sensation. The letter B is silent. And when you are exposed to snow a lot, your fingers become numb, your toes become numb, then you say frostbite. Have you heard of this any time? Frostbite. An important expression you have to know. Frostbite. Please respond. Have you heard of that? Frostbite. That's also an important expression you have to remember. And sometimes what happens if you see or interact with mountaineers, they get exposed to snow all the time, they get frostbite, and if that is neglected, then it results in gangrene. Once gangrene sets in, it starts eating your muscles, body muscles and flesh. And finally what happens, the doctors have to remove that particular part. That could be a leg, that could be the entire arm. Removing a body part through operation by cutting, what is the word? We use the word amputation. Have you heard of this? Amputate. I'll write here. His leg has been amputated. What does it mean? It has been removed. Amputate. That's also an important word. I always give important words. They have given a few times in different competitive exams. Amputate. So much from this pic. Now let us go to the next one. 8-month-old among 6 abducted. What is the meaning of the word abducted? Please respond again. Abduct means what? Very good, Pawan. Abduct means kidnap. When you think of kidnapping, imagine someone has kidnapped a person. After kidnapping, the person demands some amount. What is the word for that word? After kidnap, if amount is demanded, that is known as ransom. How much ransom are the kidnappers demanding? Means what? The amount. Good morning. Ransom. Very good. And sometimes a strange thing happens. What is that? Imagine a beautiful girl has been kidnapped by a man. Initially, she hates that person because she has been kidnapped by that person. But for some reason, not a known reason, unknown reason, after some time, she may fall in love with that person, with the kidnapper. The one who got kidnapped falls in love with the kidnapper. That is known as what? It is called Stockholm Syndrome. Have you heard of that any time? Stockholm, capital of Sweden. Stockholm Syndrome. What is Stockholm Syndrome? The kidnapper The one who has been kidnapped falling in love with the kidnapper. Very strange. Why, we don't know. So much from the word abducted. Let us go to big names face a test as Jharkhand votes in phase 1. Related to elections, simple words should not be that difficult to make out what exactly the words mean or the headline means. The second page, here you see Shah Rukh Khan, Raipur lawyer held over death threat to Shah Rukh. Lawyer has been held. He was abducted by a dangerous psychopath. Very good. The main one on page 2. Day before polls, ED carries out searches in Jharkhand, Bengal over Bangladeshi infiltration case. There are two words over here. One is appraisal verb, carry out, and the other one infiltration. What is the meaning of the appraisal verb carry out? He has carried out his boss's orders, means what? Executed. Carry out the orders means execute. Very good. Who is this? Madhavi. Exact word, execute. And what is the meaning of infiltration? Infiltrators. Imagine along the border, some people, they enter from this side to the other side, then there is a problem of infiltration. It happens along the borders. Sri Lankan Navy arrests 12 fishers from Nagapattinam. Last time also we got, what is the problem over there? These are Tamil fishermen. They enter the waters, territorial waters of Sri Lanka, and they try to fish over there. When you do that, it comes under poaching. Exactly, Murthy. Very good, I appreciate. Vijay also. Poaching is not acceptable, so they get arrested. This is a regular phenomenon. It happens around the clock, around the year. Yes. Let us go to the next one. Bipole candidates milk caste identity in West UP. There is one important word here, milk. Milk what? Caste identity. You all know milk as fish out of the water, Usha, good. Idiom. And fish out of water means what? To feel uncomfortable. Imagine a village person, a country cousin, goes to a big city like New York. Then that person will be fish out of water. We can also say fish out of tank. Coming to this word, milk. We all know the word milk as noun. But milk can also be a verb. Here it has been used as a verb. As a verb, what does it mean? To extract, to use, to get something out of something. Milk used as a verb. Milk what? Caste identity. That's an important one you have to know. There are two words. One is water, milk. Water we all use as a noun, but do remember water can be a noun, can be a verb. She has watered the plants. Here I have used as a verb. Get me a glass of water. Here it is a noun. Same way milk also can be a verb, can be a noun. But generally we think milk only a noun. That is not correct. Let us see the last one for today. 6 assembly seats in Bengal to go for bipole today. EC notice to BJP leader for his remarks. Some remarks, EC has given notices to BJP leader. Simple, easy to understand. We have one more here. Rajasthan 7 assembly bipoles present a test of credibility, an important word. Respond, what is the meaning of credibility? What is the meaning of veteran leaders? Credible, turn quotes, very good, I appreciate. Pawan, what is the meaning of credibility? Credible information, credible news means authentic or correct. The news, someone tells you something, you ask the question, is it credible? Is it credible news? Means authentic news. And what is the opposite? Incredible. Incredible has 2 or 3 meanings. It could be positive, it could be negative. Veteran leaders means what? Senior leaders, those who have been in politics for quite some time, we say veteran leaders. And you have to recollect the word seasoned. There is one important word, seasoned politician. Huh. A lot of experience. And you have to think of the word seasoned politician, means experienced politician. Veteran, he is a veteran. Very good. That's all for today from the headlines. Let us go to today's editorial. Today's editorial is about diplomatic row between India and Canada. This has been going on for some time, and Canada is trying to spoil the image of India around the world in a way, internationally. Let's see what it is, and before that, what is the enrichment from today's session? Comprehension skill and contextual awareness, effective vocabulary, some important words are there, grammar consolidation, effective English, mini mocks, vocab consolidation. The very first word, deteriorate. You got to be careful with this word. What is the reason? When we pronounce, we say deteriorate. But look at the spelling. If I say deteriorate, it looks like deteriorate. That is R-I-O, we don't pronounce. Deteriorate we say. But you got to be careful with spelling. Look at the spelling. D-E-T-E-R-I-O-R-A-T-E. But how do we pronounce? Deteriorate. This goes with something going down or getting spoiled. It goes with health. It goes with quality. It goes with standards. Deteriorating standards. Becoming worse. Yes. Part of speech verb. To become progressively worse in quality or condition. As I said, usually it goes with quality. It also goes with standards. Look at the example. Relations between the two countries began to deteriorate after the diplomatic dispute. We can also say after the diplomatic row. The relations between the two countries started deteriorating, going downward. Decline, degrade, worsen, improve, strengthen, enhance. Decline we have got many a time, same. And we use combinations like declining numbers, declining standards. These are typical combinations. Row. Row has many meanings. Row, one meaning, it goes with a boat, rowing the boat. You use oars and you move the boat. That process is called rowing, one meaning as a verb. As a noun, a queue, a row. And here, row means what? Part of speech noun, a serious dispute or argument, especially between individuals or organizations. A serious dispute or argument, we use the word, there's a row between the two countries. The row between the two countries led to strained diplomatic relations, obviously. Imagine there is, exactly. And imagine who is that? Vishnu, I appreciate. Rowing, he has come up with a pic. I appreciate. Good. And a sort of different disturbance between two countries, some sort of argument, then bone of contention, apple of discord or dispute, we say the relations got what? Strained, diplomatic relations. Because of what? Because of the row. All these are dispute, argument, conflict, agreement, harmony, peace. Consular. Generally, we use words like consulate, consular services. What exactly? Embassy, what do they mean? Relating to the consulate or the official duties of a consul, especially concerning foreign relations and services. Consular services, they go with dealing with other countries. Consulate deals with passport, all these things. Visa, not passport. Example, the consular services were temporarily halted due to security concern. Temporarily halted means what? Stopped because of security concerns. Diplomatic, foreign service related, official. Non-diplomatic, local, internal. Basically deals with foreign service related. Intimidate, we have got many a time. What is the meaning of intimidation? Intimidate means to frighten someone. And intimidation can be through power, authority, money, knowledge, English, any of these can intimidate other people. Part of speech verb to frighten or overawe someone. Imagine someone speaks, someone has a lot of knowledge, someone is like a walking encyclopedia. Then you are awestruck, and in a way, his knowledge intimidates you. Overawe someone, especially to force them into submission. Then, without your knowledge, you may go in for submission. Look at the example. The protesters attempted to intimidate the officials into cancelling the meeting. They tried to frighten the officials to cancel the meeting. Threaten, bully, frighten. Reassure, encourage, comfort. Bullying goes with school. School level, imagine if you take a particular school, there's a big guy. He tries to bully small guys, juniors, sub-juniors. It happens, it's a regular thing. What is the opposite of brave? Someone is brave. What is the opposite? Coward, awestruck. Yes, someone, very good. Part of speech adjective, lacking courage, easily frightened or avoided due to fear. The government criticized the attack as a cowardly act that targeted innocent people. When these terrorists, they attack a public place, in that process what happens, innocent people get killed. And immediately the government's response, government says it is a cowardly act. You must have read many a time. Timid, a timid person. Timid person is not that courageous. He lacks courage. And chicken-hearted, very good. Who is this? Shreya. Wonderful. Yes. Mealy-mouthed, chicken-hearted, timid, fearful, spineless also we say. All these are derogatory words. If you call someone, cock and bull story, a different one, does not go with this. And if you call a person spineless, that person may get offended and he may pick up a fight with you. All these are derogatory. What is the meaning of the word derogatory? Insulting. Brave, courageous, valiant, important word. Diaspora, we have got many a time. People from a particular country migrate to some other country, and a lot of people in the other country from a particular country. What is the word for those people? We call them diaspora. Today, if you go to Canada, you go to the US, you go to the UK, you have a lot of Indians, and we use the expression Indian diaspora in the US, Indian diaspora in Canada, Indian diaspora in the UK. Means Indians over there who got settled over there. Part of speech noun, a large group of people with a shared heritage or homeland who have moved to live in different places around the world. That's what I've just said. You have to recollect, who is this? Timmaraju, yes. Based on this, you have to recollect related words. Migration, immigration, emigration. Emigration, going out of the country. Immigration, someone comes into the country. Large number of people go from one country to another country. We use the word exodus. That's an important word. They have given many a time. What is the word? Exodus. Exodus means what? Very good, Charan. Exodus means, and Madhavi also, mass migration. We use the word exodus, an important word. The Indian diaspora in Canada has contributed greatly to the country's cultural diversity. Today we have a lot of Indians in Canada, a lot of Indians in the US, and have been contributing in so many ways. Sentence talks about that. Expatriate, an important word. We can also use words like expatriate, migrant population, homeland, native population, residents. Insulate. Insulation means a protection. Insulate is a verb form. What does it mean? To protect something from external influences. Example, they tried to insulate the economic relationship from political conflicts. They wanted to shield or protect. Important synonyms, shield, important word, protect, isolate. Antonyms: expose, integrate, connect. Turmoil. I've given many of my students know the combination. Political turmoil. What is it? Political turmoil. Turmoil means what? Disturbance. Noun, a state of great confusion, disturbance, or uncertainty. When there is a lot of confusion, what is the word we use? We say chaotic. What is it called? Chaos. From chaos, you get chaotic situation. Political turmoil. Yes, Pawan, chaos. Perhaps you wanted to say that. Chaotic. Example, the political turmoil has left the citizens anxious about the future, obviously. Imagine in a particular country, luckily India we don't have that problem. In a particular country, a lot of disturbance, politically speaking, political turmoil, the future becomes uncertain and yes, and definitely people feel anxious and restless. Chaos, see, chaos, upheaval, disorder. Upheaval means, in a way, people revolting or great disturbance based on they want to oppose something. Then we use the word upheaval. Slightly not the right word over here. Peace, stability, calm. Fractious. You all know the word fraction. From that we get fractious. Look at the meaning. You'll be a little surprised. Adjective. Fraction meaning is different. Fractious meaning is entirely different. What does it mean? Irritable and difficult to control. Prone to causing disputes. Some people are irritable. Some issues are irritable. Then we say fractious. The fractious political groups, means irritating groups, have made it challenging to reach a consensus, general agreement. Unruly, argumentative, contentious, an important word. Cooperative, agreeable, compliant. Comply with. Answer my question, what is the meaning of comply with? The with is important. Comply means what? Comply with, important. Comply with the rules and regulations means obey, stick to, adhere to, follow. All these words you have to think of. That's all about editorial vocabulary. And coming to the editorial, what is the stimulus? Stop the free fall. You have to wonder what is falling here, what is free fall. When you read the editorial, you understand it is about the diplomatic ties between India and Canada. They have been deteriorating, they have been falling down. And stop that fall, stop that free fall. That's what it means. On India-Canada ties. What is the main idea? India and Canada must not allow ties to deteriorate further. An important word. I have given many a time. Try to respond. What is the difference between FAR, THER, FUR, THER? Yes. First one, FAR, THER, deals with distance. And the second one, FUR, THER, deals with the meaning. In addition to, she has gone to the US for further studies. Shimla is farther than Delhi from Bombay. Both are important. They come under confusing words. And here, deteriorate further, already deteriorated, more than we use further. There is one important, after a long time you have got this. Try to respond. Very good. Who is this? Sharon. Before I could say, came up with the functions of must. Must has two functions. One, it is used to express a personal obligation or an obligation imposed by the writer or speaker. In this context, the writer. Second one, to convey the idea something is compulsory. I appreciate you guys. Wonderful. What is a tone? Because it talks about deteriorating ties between India and Canada. The tone has to be critical and the tone has to be cautious. Let us see. Balanced also. The tone of the editorial is cautionary and balanced. Caution, a word of caution. Why a word of caution? Because there are so many Indians in Canada and there are trade relations. If they don't maintain the proper diplomatic ties, the impact is going to be devastating on Indians over there and also the trade relations. Based on that cautionary and balanced, the writer has assessed the situation properly. The diplomatic row between India and Canada has, as expected. Writers use a few phrases, a few clauses, and you should have the ability to identify the phrases and clauses inserted in between. And what is the subject over here? Canada has, and where is the verb? Canada has, in between there is a phrase, as expected. Begin, began, begun. Tell me which tense is that? Canada has begun. Present perfect, active voice. Canada has, as expected, begun to impact people who have ties with both countries. The diplomatic row, as I said, the concern, what is the concern over here? The diplomatic row definitely makes a devastating impact, a negative impact on a large scale on people in Canada, Indians in Canada, beyond any doubt. That's what the sentence says. The diplomatic row between India and Canada has, as expected, begun to impact people who have ties with both countries. The unusual manner in which Canada made public its understanding that Indian officials were somehow involved in the 2023 murder of Khalistan activist Hardeep Singh Nijjar has derailed bilateral relations. Sentence talks about last year, I guess, Canada came up with the accusations, allegations, saying that India is behind the murder of a particular Khalistan leader. Ever since, the ties have been deteriorating. The sentence talks about that. The way they came up, surprising, unusual. The unusual manner in which Canada made public its understanding that Indian officials were somehow involved in the 2023 murder of Khalistan activist Hardeep Singh Nijjar has derailed bilateral relations. We have got this recent, I have shown a pic also. When you take the railway track, this can be called a track, and these are known as rails. When the train goes off the rails, we say it got derailed. That is a literal meaning. But in this context, the relations has derailed bilateral relations. Means perhaps they were on the track. Because of this disturbance, they went off their track. Based on that, derailed bilateral relations. Added something like fuel to the fire. What is the meaning of adding fuel to fire? Already the situation is bad. Trying to make the situation worse. Added to this allegation, Washington's allegations regarding the plot against Gurpatwant Singh Pannan further complicated matters. Already India has got a bad name, courtesy Canada. Canada has started accusing. Adding to that, the US also has started accusing India regarding someone else's murder. Further complicated matters. On November 3rd, a camp on the premises of Hindu Sabha Mandir in Brampton, which was organized by Indian Mission to provide consular services, was violently disrupted by Khalistan activists. This is a stimulus. What is the stimulus to write this editorial? Something happened on November 3rd, last week, recent incident. What exactly happened? On November 3rd, a camp on the premises of the Hindu Sabha Mandir in Brampton, a place in Canada, which was organized. Which tense is this? It is past tense, passive voice. They organized a meeting. Past tense, active voice. A meeting was organized by them. You have to catch immediately. Which was organized by the Indian Mission to provide. Why did they organize that? To provide consular services, was violently disrupted. Was disrupted. This is also past tense passive voice. Disrupt means interrupt. How did they interrupt? violently, the writer has used an adverb. Was disrupted, past tense passive voice. How violently? By whom? By Khalistan activists. Later, a protest by a Hindu group also led to violence. First incident, second incident. Later, something else happened. What happened? Later, an important word. Immediately, you have to recollect. Later, what is the other word you have to think of? Latter. The spelling changes, the pronunciation changes. Later deals with time. Latter deals with position. First, former, latter. Two important words you have to know. First in position, second in position. Here it refers to time. Later, a protest by a Hindu group also led to violence. Now, what is the response of Indian Prime Minister? Prime Minister Narendra Modi described the violence at the Mandir as what? As deliberate, and attempts to intimidate Indian diplomats as cowardly. Prime Minister has said the attempt is deliberate. What is the meaning of the word deliberate? Intentional. Means what? Intentional. Exactly. Very good, Charan. And attempts to intimidate Indian diplomats as cowardly. They tried to intimidate, they tried to frighten Indian diplomats, and our Prime Minister has said that act is nothing but a cowardly act. What is the response of the Canadian Prime Minister? Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau termed the incident unacceptable. He also condemned. That's a good thing. It's a good thing that the Canadian Prime Minister condemned the incident or the attack. At least 2 people linked to Niger have been reportedly arrested. This writer has used a lot of adverbs. Look at we have got so many today. Have been arrested, which tense is that? It is present perfect passive voice. But in between there is an adverb. Have been reportedly arrested by the police in Canada. One of them is wanted in India, means he is in the police are looking for that person, searching for that person. An estimated 19 lakh people. Now, because it is about people over there, we have to a pertinent question. How many Indians are there in Canada? This sentence answers that question. An estimated 19 lakh people, or about 4% of Canada's population, are of Indian origin. 19 lakh, huge number, 4% definitely. For migrants, many of them maintain close ties with India and require varied consular services. All these Indians in Canada, they need the consular services and they maintain ties with India. And based on that, they require varied consular services. That a small violent group can even disrupt routine diplomatic functions is a sad commentary on Canada's standing as a stable democracy where the rule of law is supreme. Canada also a democratic country. Any democratic country, rule of law is the ultimate, the supreme, no one can question. But in a country like that, a routine thing, what is it, offering consular services, got disrupted, not an acceptable thing. It is a sad commentary on Canada's standing as a stable democracy where the rule of law is supreme. The Canadian government must ensure, the writer's obligation, must ensure what? That Indian diplomats are secure, obviously. Indian diplomats over there, they have to be safe and secure. India and Canada should not encourage or tolerate any kind of mobilization that causes communal rift in either country. India should not encourage, Canada also should not encourage or tolerate what? Any kind of mobilization means formation of groups. And if groups are formed, what is the impact? That causes communal rift in either country. India's diaspora engagement must unfailingly reflect the multi-religious character of the nation. India's diaspora, Indians over there, not only Sikhs, there are other communities also. must unfailingly reflect the multi-religious character of the nation. India-Canada bilateral trade in goods and services. First, the editorial touched the number of people and who are there, one particular religion or many religions. Now it talks about the trade relations between India and Canada. India-Canada bilateral trade in goods and services combined is around 19 billion US dollars. It was expected to be boosted further through a bilateral trade treaty, but negotiations on this are now stalled. They thought of, looks like we have a problem. Is everything okay? Because of these incidents, the bilateral trade treaty, the negotiations got stalled. Means what? Stopped. Both countries have been careful so far. Whenever you see so far, do remember it means from the past to the present. Then we have to use a present perfect tense. See, here we have been, present perfect tense. Both countries have been careful so far to insulate their economic relations. They did not want this political rift or the problem. They did not allow that to enter the economic sphere or economic front. Both countries have been careful so far to insulate, protect their economic relations, but disruptions in visa issuance on both sides can have an impact. Slowly it may spread, but as of now they have insulated, means what? Protected. India and Canada have significant convergence on many issues. Divergence means going in opposite directions. Convergence, uniting, combining. India and Canada have significant convergence on many issues, like what? Climate change, for instance. Sustained people-to-people contacts have been beneficial. Here there is one word, sustained, means what? Maintained. Sustain something, maintain something. Sustained people-to-people contacts have been beneficial, notwithstanding the fact that the current turmoil also originates from fractious diaspora politics. There are good ties, good things, also bad things, and why all this? Because of the diaspora, fractious diaspora politics. Independent of India ties, Canada is trying to tighten its border policy as nearly 2/3 of the population over there reportedly feel that there are too many immigrants entering the country. What is the perception? What is the feeling of 2/3 of population of Canada? They feel too many immigrants are there in Canada entering the country. How does it end? New restrictions on student visas will affect Indian aspirants too. While a complete normalization of ties cannot be quick, because so much has happened, we cannot expect a complete normalization immediately. It will take some time. Both countries can and must avoid disruptions to their consular services. Both the countries should and must. They can do that. They must do it. What? Avoid disruptions or interruptions to their consular services. It ends on that particular note. Now let us go to questions based on comprehension skill. Read the first one and try to answer. I think it is. Which of the following best describes the author's stand on the need for diplomatic engagement between India and Canada? Sustainable goals, sustainable practices means using the resources wisely. Both countries should act aggressively. Why will it take that stand? Both countries should encourage communal mobilization for nationalistic purposes. Both countries should avoid actions that could escalate communal tensions. What is the answer? Both countries should encourage communal mobilization. No. Both countries should avoid actions that could escalate, increase communal tensions. Answer is C. How does the editorial view Canada's role in ensuring safety for Indian diplomats? Canada should delegate security concerns to local community groups? No. Canada is seen as failing in its responsibility to ensure diplomatic security. Hold this one. Canada should tighten restrictions on all forms of protest. Dissolve its diplomatic ties with India? No. What is the view of the editorial regarding the stand taken by Canada? Canada is seen as failing in its responsibility to ensure diplomatic security. B is the answer. The editorial suggests that the disruption of consular services between India and Canada could lead to, we need a negative expression, improved trade relations? Wrong. Enhanced diplomatic ties? No. Economic and social setbacks for people with ties to both countries. Something negative will happen, obviously. Yes, Shreya. C. Pawan also. Who else? Rajalakshmi, yes. In discussing India's role, the tone of the editorial could best be described as what? Here, the tone of the editorial regarding the stand taken by India. You have to be very careful. India's role. Critical of India's diaspora policies, supportive of India's stance in the diplomatic conflict, reflective on India's need for a balanced diaspora engagement. It is not the first one, it is not the second one. It is reflective on India's need for a balanced diaspora engagement. It has to engage the diaspora, but balanced manner. C is the answer. Not that easy. This is a challenging question. What is the editorial's tone regarding the violent incidents at the Hindu Sabha Mandir in Brampton? Again, the tone of the editorial regarding this particular incident. Accepting? Why will it accept? Sympathetic? No. Disapproving? Calling it a failure of law and order in Canada. Answer is what? C. Very good. Before I could turn, you answered. Try to locate the error location. Try to answer the first one. Aggression in some teenage boys may be linkage to overly large glands in their brains, a new study has found. Bank exams and SSC quite often they ask questions based on word forms. Very good. Shreya, first one to respond. Linkage is not the right word. Maybe we have to use the verb link, but we may link or may be linked. Linked. What is the correct word form here? Linked. Very good, I appreciate. Next one. Manish was advised an operation more than 30 years back, but due to his financial condition, he could not undergo the procedure. This is a common error. Tell me, where is the error? Advised an operation, nothing wrong, and you have to be careful. VISCD is a verb form. VICE is a noun form. Here we need to use a verb form. Nothing wrong with that. No, nothing wrong. Manish was advised an operation more than 30 years back is not correct. There is a common error. We have to use a word more than 30 years ago, not 30 years back. Very good. Shreya has got it right. Sumant also. In just 2 months after having planted these, most of the plants have either dried up and are suffering due to a lack of maintenance. An easy one because you have the clue. What is the clue? Either. You can say either, you can say either. What is the word you have to use? Obviously. An easy question in my opinion. Yes. Let us go to idioms. I have brought important idioms. They have given many a time, bank exams, SSC. In a way, confusing, but all are important. You have every idiom, you have the word green, green, green. So you got to be a little careful. What is the meaning of to have green fingers? We say he has green fingers, she has green fingers. British English. American English, we say he has a green thumb, she has a green thumb. What does it mean? Good at gardening. Answer is D. He is a greenhorn. She is a greenhorn. What does it mean? Inexperienced person. C is the answer. Green-eyed monster. What is green-eyed monster? Jealousy. Answer is B. Green paper. Paper money, you can guess paper. Paper money, large amounts we say. Green paper, not a regular one. Green shoots they have used many a time in newspapers. What are you left with? Signs of revitalizing. If you have got all the 5 correct, you should be happy. You are ready for the exam because I have given many a time. And all these are important idioms. Let us go to the last slide. The words you got yesterday. Enhance means what? Improve. Quantum, amount. Yes, 5 out of 5, very good. Who is this? Shrikant, wonderful. Quantum means what? Amount. Quantum, magnitude. Next, manifesto, the promises of a political party at the time of elections. Affirmative, something that is positive, confirming. And downtrodden, people at the lowest rung, grassroots level, very poor, marginalized people. Prelude, something like introduction. Pre means before. Envisage, visualize, it goes with future. There's a particular project, envisage the project. And antiquated means outdated, redundant. These are the words you got yesterday, and try to spend some time. You will be able to remember. That's all for today. I hope you guys have got enriched, and we'll provide the PDF after the session. Try to access. For that, you have to join our Telegram group, SREEDHAR'S CCE Telegram group. You can access the PDF. No, we are doing it. We are not. You are not getting PDF. How come? We do it every day. Anyhow, I will check with the technical team, and I'll confirm tomorrow. Thank you very much. Good morning, sir.
Namaste, sir. Namaskaram.
How are you?
మీకోసమే
Thank you.